There is growing and now coordinated opposition to the Turnpike Authority's desire to build or extend turnpikes near Norman. Reporter Beth Wallace with our content partner State Impact Oklahoma has been following this story closely, and she joins us this week for a reporter debrief on the latest developments. Beth, let's begin with the projects announced by the Turnpike Authority last February. Where do they intend to build and when?
So there are quite a few projects that have been announced with the Access Oklahoma Turnpike project. So there are going to be a few widening projects. Turner Turnpike is going to get widened. Will Rogers Turnpike is going to get widened. But most of the controversy has been surrounding some different routes. So there's the east-west connector, and that starts in Newcastle. It connects I-40 to the Kickapoo. There's the south extension, which is in Norman, and it goes down the west side of Lake Thunderbird and connects to I-35. And the Gilcrease Expressway also in Northwest Tulsa has been receiving quite a bit of controversy as well. And as far as the timeline goes, these projects will be built anytime over 15 years. So it could be anytime between a few months from now to 15 years.
Those Norman projects, now a group of citizens in that area filed a lawsuit, maybe, I guess perhaps more than one. On what grounds?
Yeah, so there have been two lawsuits. The first lawsuit is divided into two different routes. So first, the South Extension route, the one that goes by Lake Thunderbird, basically they're arguing that in the Oklahoma Turnpike Enabling Act, there are 35 locations where the OTA can build, and they're arguing that the South Extension isn't in those 35 locations. The other route is the East-West and the Tri-City connectors. So this one's a little bit more complicated. They're arguing that in 1987, whenever this overall project was passed, it was passed with a single bond issue or a single bond indenture, which means it can only be funded that first time around. The second lawsuit is basically an open records, is basically an open meetings issue. And so they're arguing that all of the agendas and documents leading up to the Access Oklahoma announcement weren't really, the average person couldn't read the document and say, oh, it's going to go in my backyard.
Tell us about this opposition group, Pike Off OTA. Is that a grassroots organization? Are they well funded? Are they politically connected? How would you describe them?
I would definitely describe them as a grassroots organization for sure. A lot of that organizing has been done on Facebook. Their Facebook group is over 6,500 members strong, and they've got a wide range of people in their leadership. The city councilor for Ward 5, which is the ward that the South Extension goes through, Richard Tortorello, is a huge part of the leadership there. They're also well connected with the representatives and senators that represent those areas.
So Beth, how many homes are we talking about here that could be demolished in this project?
So this is a tricky question to answer because the OTA has not actually given an official number yet, but the people over at Pike Off have looked at the maps and counted how many houses are where, and their estimate is that 665 homes will be demolished and that there are over 4,700 homes within a half-mile area, and they're worried about the value of those homes depreciating.
That's a lot of homes. Now explain how those people would be reimbursed if in fact this goes forward and those homes are gone.
Right now, they could actually start negotiating with the OTA if they wanted to do that. And the OTA will come out and appraise their homes and give them an offer. They can accept or refuse that offer, but if they refuse, they have to go through the eminent domain process that will bear out in the courts over the course of years. For people who are not in the direct path, though, those people have some pretty special circumstances because they might be seeing some issues with their property values, but obviously they're not going to be reimbursed by the OTA.
And once again, Beth, money is not everything. Some of these people have families that have been living there for years and years. I'm sure it's quite emotional for them. What are some of the stories they've told you?
The word that I hear constantly is traumatic, that this was just a really traumatic thing to learn for them. These families, their hopes and dreams are in these homes. They call these homes their forever homes. They meant to die in these homes or pass these homes down through generations. Especially in that South Extension area, there are a lot of generational farms and generational ranches.
What are the chances that these homeowners and other businesses there that are opposed to the projects that they could prevail and the routing of these new highways could be moved or perhaps scrapped altogether?
There isn't a great precedent for these routes being moved in the past, but this kind of litigation is pretty unique, and this amount of response of opposition is also pretty unique. And so we might be seeing a different kind of animal when it comes to this specific Turnpike project than any other projects in the past.
Well, Beth Wallace with State Impact, I know you'll continue to cover this story. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.